presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner of broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special guest by the name of Jacinta Parris. A little bit about her. Jacinta Parris is an award-winning virtual assistant to busy female entrepreneurs. She specializes in administrative, social media, and lifestyle management. Jacinta also coaches other aspiring VAs on how to build a lasting business with a higher purpose. She has enjoyed every exciting moment of growing her business. Jacinta's journey began right after college when she and a high school friend started a residential and commercial cleaning business. That summer, they spent long days and nights dreaming of ways to make the business a success. In the space of no time, they began getting more business than the two could handle. They became overwhelmed with all the paperwork, follow-ups, appointment setting, staff hiring, and the list continued to grow. Life took a different turn for her business partner, and soon Jacinta found herself managing the business on her own. There were times when she just wanted to quit and walk away, but something kept telling her it would pay off in the end, and it did. Even with the excitement of the growing the business, Jacinta knew she would need help with the number of asks she also had to manage. It was during this time that Jacinta found her first virtual assistant. Jacinta's assistant took on all the time-consuming tasks and allowed her to concentrate solely on her area of genius. She began to realize using the virtual assistant was also helping her balance her own life and personal well-being. She discovered her true passion was to assist other women in protecting the greatest assets they own, themselves. Love Life Virtual Solution began as Jacinta's way of helping women gain the sort of work and life balance most women crave. Virtual assistant is more than just helping with tasks. It is about helping women achieve their goals while they enjoy the fruits of their labor. That was 2 years ago. Since then, Jacinta has worked with many amazing and ambitious women, Fortune 500 companies, as well as aspiring virtual assistants. All have amazing visions and dreams for the future of their business. Jacinta loves the feeling she gets when she is able to be a part of someone's dream, saving them valuable time by taking some of the weight off of their shoulders. As a virtual assistant coach, Jacinta also teaches other virtual assistants the value and purpose of the service they provide to entrepreneurs. Her teachings assist virtual assistants in taking their business to the next level while maintaining balance in their own amazing lives. Welcome to the table, the amazing Jacinta Parris.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Well, welcome to the table. I know my listeners are going to learn some wisdom and knowledge from you tonight. So tell us more about your entrepreneur journey.
Yes, so something that was not in my bio was that my entrepreneurial journey actually started with a cosmetic line. That was my very first business that I started back in 2014. That was short-lived, unfortunately. My residential and commercial cleaning business, like my bio stated. And again, it wasn't long after I started that it really became a success. And, myself and my business partner, we worked very, very hard, worked long hours to really get it off the ground. And, just kind of looking back, we really did not do a good job of really delegating and really putting people in the right place so that we would have the proper support in order to truly make our business a success. It really got to the point where we got severely overwhelmed, and we really lost touch of why we started a business in the first place. And like I said before, it really started to really take a toll on our mental health, as we got overwhelmed. Fortunately, I was able to find a virtual assistant kind of in the midst of that was able to really help with a lot of that back-end support and a lot of the time-consuming tasks. And it was through that experience that I was like, wow, this is something that is really needed. Like, more entrepreneurs really, really need this support, because at the time I had no idea what a virtual assistant was. But like I said, the virtual assistant really stepped in and was able to really help me do a lot. And that's kind of what led me into being a virtual assistant myself, after I kind of, let the cleaning business go.
Wow, amazing story. So you are an award-winning virtual assistant to busy female entrepreneurs, Jacinta. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so back in February of this year, actually, I was presented with an award of excellence from a Tenacious Queen Academy for my efforts in event management. So I was the CEO of Tenacious Queen Academy, is a wonderful lady by the name of Erica Steptoe, and she had a huge event in Vegas for other, women entrepreneurs, and I assisted with the event management for that. I'm the one that pretty much brought the event together, and because of my efforts, she presented me with the Award of Excellence. So it's definitely something that I'm very, very proud of, and that's how that award came about.
Okay, awesome. So you're the CEO and founder of Love Life Virtual Solutions.
Yes.
So please tell us more about your company and the different services that you offer and how we can support.
Yeah, absolutely. So Love Life Virtual Solutions, once again, is a virtual assistant support agency. I do specialize, like my bio stated, in administrative, social media, and lifestyle management. So pretty much the whole idea of my brand and really my passion behind it is really wanting to give women and busy female entrepreneurs just the experience of having work-life balance. I feel like it's so important. Going back to my experience with my cleaning business, like I said before, I remember in the very beginning when I built my business, my main thing was I wanted to have the freedom. I wanted to be able to really, truly do what I wanted to do. That's why I went into business in the first place. I was really sick of like the whole 9-to-5 rat race thing. And so shortly after, like I said before, because I got so overwhelmed with the business and not having the support that I truly needed around me, I got burnt out and I got overwhelmed. And I really, got to a place within my business that I really started questioning why I even did this in the first place. Like, why didn't I just keep a regular 9-to-5 job? You know what I mean? Like, I had no balance at all. So, again, finding that virtual assistant, being able to get a lot of those tasks offsetted and being able to hand a lot of the tedious tasks and a lot of the time-consuming, daunting tasks over to my virtual assistant, it really helped me to be a little bit more balanced in my work and personal life. So that's kind of the mission behind my brand. But like I said before, I do specialize in administrative, social media, and lifestyle management. And so I help with pretty much anything that you need, within your business, as well as event management, too. That's actually a service that I actually just started to offer at the beginning of this year. I have clients come to me every single day. I talk to clients that are just burnt out, they're stressed out, and they need support. And, I'm here to, assist in any way that I can.
So for our listeners that are listening, if you need a virtual assistant, event planner, Jacinta does it all for the most part. So definitely reach out to her and connect with her, because, we cannot do it all. We need a team. So we have to be able to delegate. So definitely reach out to her and connect with her. So what are your thoughts on that, Jacinta? Because I think a lot of people, especially us entrepreneurs and type A people, sometimes we think we can do it all, but it's important to have a team. So could you talk more about that?
Yes, absolutely. Going back to, what I stated before about how I got to the point where I was overwhelmed, it really does take a toll on us. I really feel like mental health and self-care is so incredibly important, and we can't do it all. I mean, as much as, we like to think we're super women and supermen, it's just certain things that we just cannot do. And again, I really feel like, when you choose to start a business, when you choose to be an entrepreneur, for the most part, I feel like ultimately your goal should be to have freedom. Your goal should be to have more, time in your day. And if you're doing a million things at once, that's not going to be possible. So at some point, you have to kind of let go of that creative control and say, okay, I need the help. I need the support. And it really and truly is an investment. I talk to, female entrepreneurs all the time that, a lot of them are scared to make the investment in themselves. They're really scared. They feel like, I don't want to make an investment and it not be worth it. But I mean, honestly, your mental health and your overall well-being is priceless. And it really might sound like cliche, but it really does get to that point where, you're just doing so many things at one time. You just begin to become overwhelmed. So it's just very important that you do have a team in place. And you don't have to have, 10 or 15 people on your team. You can have, start off very, very small until you get to the point where you can afford to have, the 10 to 15 staff members. But just in the beginning, at least having that one person beside you that can really, really support you can make a world of difference.
Yeah, so thank you for shining some light in that area. So, Jacinta, you are very passionate about helping others by taking some weight off their shoulders, and we talked about that a few minutes ago, and just, why you're so passionate about it. So what are the pros and cons of a virtual assistant?
You know what? I think there are a lot of pros and cons. I guess we can start with a lot of the pros. First of all, obviously, just having that support and that assistance. The support and the assistance that you need. A lot of people, it's so funny because I meet people all the time and they don't even know what a virtual assistant is. They don't know the type of value that we bring to our clients. And there's so many things that a virtual assistant can do. I mean, like I mentioned before, some of the things that I specialize in are the general administrative tasks, the social media management, and the lifestyle management. And let me kind of break down a little bit what lifestyle management is, because a lot of people may not know. But lifestyle management is more so of like the personal task, because once again, going back to the mission behind my brand, really giving my clients that, work-life balance experience. I felt like, being able to help them with some of their lifestyle tasks as well as their business tasks would help them create that work-life balance. But yeah, just going back to, what the whole point here, definitely those two pieces for sure, being able to help with that. And then obviously there's so many other things that virtual assistants can do. I mean, you have Pinterest manager virtual assistants, you have project manager virtual assistants, you have tech virtual assistants. I mean, it really just boils down to what you need support in. So a virtual assistant can really do a lot, can also save you tons of time, obviously, which is the whole point. And then two, I have clients that I don't necessarily do a lot of tasks for them. They don't necessarily delegate a whole lot, but I'm just pretty much like their accountability partner. I keep them on track. I help them manage their calendar. I help them, with goal setting. I help them with, strategies, business strategies. So it really all boils down to pretty much what that client needs. There's just so many things that you can get support in. And I feel like some of the cons when it comes to a virtual assistant, that's a really good question. I don't really know if there are really any cons, but what I can say from my perspective, some of the cons that I run into when meeting new clients is there are so many virtual assistants and there are so many business owners that have started to utilize virtual assistants like in the Philippines. And, one of the issues that I always run into is, when people see my prices or when they ask me, how much is it for, a certain package, it's kind of like their eyes get wide, because, they might hear this huge number when they're used to paying like $2 or $3 an hour because they're working with somebody in the Philippines or someone overseas. So I think for me, on my end, I think that sometimes is the con that I run into, just really just people really paying me what I'm worth, and really just kind of letting people know that, hey, this is an investment, not only in your business, but also personally, and I can really help turn your business around. I can really help turn your life around and really, really add value to your life. So I would say in that sense it's a con, but other than that, I really can't think of con that bringing a virtual assistant onto your team would be.
Okay, awesome. So for our listeners that were wondering, is a virtual assistant a good idea? I'm sure Jacinta has answered your question with that. She was very in-depth with explaining, the pros and the cons, more pros than cons, which is a good thing.
Yes.
So, what I would say, Jacinta, and I just want to ask this question to go more in depth in it with the cons. I think, making sure they do research, right, to make sure the person is capable of being a good virtual assistant. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
I said I want to talk more, to go more in depth on the, the pros and cons topic, because I think, a con could be making sure that they go more in depth in research when we're looking for a virtual assistant, right? Making sure they're qualified. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And kind of going back to what I was saying before, as far as really, before you definitely make the decision like, okay, I need the support, I'm going to hire a virtual assistant, I really recommend that people really take a depth analysis in what they truly need support in and where their brand is, what they have going on. And what they really need help with, because like I said before, you have virtual assistants out there that are just general virtual assistants that can help you kind of like with the admin stuff and with some of the tedious tasks, but then you have virtual assistants that actually specialize in certain things. So just depending on, what those daunting tasks are, what are those things that, you just don't like doing. Like me, for example, I literally have content creators, and as funny as it sounds, I'm a virtual assistant myself, so that's definitely an area that I assist clients with, but that's also an area that I outsource because I know that that's not, first of all, it's definitely not one of my favorite things to do, and then it's not really something that I'm the best in. So I really feel like, you have to analyze, first of all, what you don't like to do, because I feel like that's important. What are some of those things that you don't like to do? What are some of those things that when you think about doing it, you kind of cringe and you're like, oh my God, or you put off? That's definitely, could really be something that you could outsource to a virtual assistant. And then obviously something that you're just not good in. Me, for example, once again, I'm horrible when it comes to tech stuff. I'm just not good with it. So I have a tech person on my team. Shout out to Morgan Edwards. She's amazing at your chief tech officer. So yeah, I think it just really boils down to, your brand, where you're at, in your business development and just what you need the support in and what you're willing to outsource. And then another thing is too, just kind of going back to, when I had a cleaning business and when I hired my first VA, again, because I had never hired a virtual assistant before and because I was so used to having so much creative control, there were a lot of things that I was scared to delegate to him because I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. I was so used to doing things myself. So I was really, really nervous. So that's also something, too, that I run across with when it comes to a lot of female entrepreneurs. It's like we want to have this control and we're scared to kind of let go. But I feel like once you get to a point where you're calm and you're like, okay, this is something I just need to let go and take that risk, I think it ends up being a lot better.
Love that. So thank you for shining light on that. So you've built multiple tables for yourself, Jacinta. So I asked all of my guests this question. How did you create your seat at the table?
You know what? Honestly, the simplest way that I can answer that question is just really putting myself out there and just really doing it. Like sometimes it's really just that simple to just do it. A lot of times, we hide behind, our fears. That kind of stops us from, taking that first step. We hide behind, what people may think of us, what people may say of us. And then a lot of times we just get in our own way, because of our own, limiting beliefs and things like that. So really just taking that first step and really just saying, hey, I'm just going to put myself out there and, just kind of figure it out, along the way. I think is really how I was able to create my seat at the table. Because like I said before, you have to be willing to take that first step. You can't be scared. You have to put yourself out there. And then, we're all going to learn, along the way. No matter how well-versed you may be in a particular industry or on a certain topic, we're always going to be students of whatever industry that we're in. There's always something to learn. So I feel like just being proactive, being willing to take that first step, and always being willing to learn and to know that, okay, if something is not working, it's okay to make changes. And I think, kind of all those things, combined have definitely allowed me to be confident and create my seat.
Yes, and that's so important, right? That you are confident when you're creating your seat and you're building your own tables. So we all have a process, and a lot of people don't like the process sometimes, but the process is necessary. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
You know what? Failure, I think, teaches you resilience for sure. Just knowing that, okay, you have to think about all the greats. You have to think about all the people that have come before you that have done what you've done, and things like that. Like, everybody fails. And even if people do succeed the first time around, at some point in their journey, they have failed. And just kind of, I'm really, really big on, like, mentorship and having somebody to look up to and having somebody to kind of emulate, even if it's not somebody that you connected with on a personal level, even if it's a celebrity, or even if it's somebody that you admire from a far distance. Just kind of mimicking their journey and just kind of knowing, like, okay, this person, they were able to be successful. This person was able to go through all of these things, but some way, somehow, they were able to make it through. So, yes, humans, failure is just a part of the process. So just knowing that it's a part of the process and accepting it, I think is just really half the battle, because no matter what, it is going to happen.
Yes, yes. So what did success teach you?
Success taught me that anything that you put your mind to can truly manifest in the physical. And that is the God honest truth. I mean, I've been through so much, like I'm sure a lot of, listeners have been as well. But I really feel like once you set a goal, once you focus on that goal, and once you just make up in your mind that you're not going to give up, I feel like anything can happen. And, again, it may sound like cliche, but it's so true. There have been so many times when even, along my virtual assistant journey, I remember in the very beginning, aside from the fact of me having a passion for what I do, another reason and something else that sparked me to even be a virtual assistant is I love to travel. I literally wanted to have that laptop lifestyle. I wanted to be able to work from wherever I was in the world virtually and remotely. And so I just remember in the very beginning when I was building my virtual assistant business, didn't have any clients. I literally would sit down and just envision me being like on a beach somewhere in an exotic location and just doing client work. And just even in the midst of me trying to build my business and find clients and things like that, I would keep that in the forefront of my mind no matter how hard it got. And then when it actually happened, and I actually was able to do that, it was just like, oh my God, like it really happened for me. So just knowing that, you can set a goal in your mind, and as long as you work hard towards that goal, like some way, somehow, it's going to happen, but you have to stick with it. You have to stick with it. You have to be consistent. You can't just do the right thing for 1 day or 2 days out the week. You have to be willing to stay consistent, and you have to be willing to persevere. And, once you do those two things, it's inevitable. Success is inevitable.
And that's key, right? To staying focused and staying humble and being consistent. Yes.
Yes, and it's hard.
So what can we expect from you, Jacinta, the rest of 2019? We're in the fourth quarter, and I know you're going to finish it strong. So what can we expect from you?
Yeah, so you can definitely expect, obviously, at this point, I am kind of revamping my business model a little bit and pretty much adding another category of service. I don't want to, announce exactly what that category is going to be yet, because I'm actually not quite sure. I'm working on it. It's something that I'm going to finalize by the end of the week. But I'm going to be offering another leg of support to my clients that I'm really, really excited about, aside from what I do now. So I'll be working on that. And then I also, like it was stated in my bio, I also work with aspiring virtual assistants, people that, want to do the same thing that I'm doing. I work with them a lot. So I have, like an 8-week intensive coaching program that helps people start their virtual assistant businesses from scratch. So I'm working with a lot of clients on that. And then I hope to create a course, hopefully by the end of the year, something that I'm working on as well, how to become a virtual assistant. So I have a lot of great things in the works as well. Recently, in August, launched a book, The Queen Boss Rise. It's myself and 11 other beautiful women, all entrepreneurs, just kind of talking about our entrepreneurial journey a little bit more in depth, and just really helping women see that, keep them motivated, keep them inspired, and just kind of taking them through our entrepreneurial journey. Because, once again, everybody has a story. Everybody has something that they had to go through before they were able to be successful.
I love that. I love that. And super congratulations on all the great things that you have done. You all became best-selling authors as well, correct?
Yes, we became best-selling authors on Amazon, which is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. So proud of all the ladies. We worked really, really, really hard to put the book together. We worked really, really hard on our chapters, and we worked really hard on, making that book a success. So it's something that I'm very, very proud of, and it's something that the book is just so inspiring, and it really, really and truly, especially if you're somebody that is, in a space where you want to step out on faith and you want to start that business, but you're just a little nervous about how to go about it and what to do. It can really, really, push you into that realm of just stepping out on faith. And even the people that have stepped out on faith and have a business and they might be going through a tough time, it's just really a book that just really inspires you on all levels, personally and professionally.
Yes. Well, super congratulations on all the great things you've done and all the things that you're about to birth. So I can't wait to see the next layer that you're going to add to your company. So super congratulations you so much. In advance. You are welcome. So please tell our listeners, Jacinta, how they can connect with you and follow you on all social media platforms.
Yes, definitely. So right now my website is actually under construction, but it should be back up and running in the next week or so. But, you can definitely go to lovelifevirtualsolutions.com. That is my website to connect with me. And then as far as the social media platforms, I am on Instagram and Facebook. So my Facebook handle, official Facebook business page, is Love Life Virtual Solutions. If you just type that in, the business page will come up, or you can type in facebook.com/Love Life Virtual Solutions. And then on Instagram, it's just simply at lovelifevirtualsolutions.com. You can connect with me, learn more about my brand. If you definitely want to inquire, if you need a virtual assistant, definitely contact me, shoot me a message or an email.
So please connect with Jacinta. She's definitely somebody to connect with, someone to know, and follow her on all social media platforms and support all the great things that she is doing. So, Jacinta, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to come to the table. This has been an amazing interview, and I cannot wait to invite you back.
Yes, thank you so much, Ashley, for having me. I'm so, happy to connect with, like-minded individuals like yourself. I've been listening to Creating a Seat at the Table for quite some time, and I really, really admire everything that you're doing. So I'm very, very honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I can't wait to see all the great things you're going to continue to do. And so I look forward to continuing to work and collaborate with you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I would like to give a special thanks to John Schamberger.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.